150. That is how many cases of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Oklahoma's foster care system in 2015. And the Oklahoman reports that is 121 more than Texas, which has 7 times as many people. Joining us now to talk about this and break down this statistic, we are joined by Cherie Powell with DHS. Thank you so much for being with us to talk about a heartbreaking statistic.
Right. I mean, I think what viewers need to know about that statistic is that the Oklahoman was actually reporting on the number of perpetrators, not the number of child victims. So that's an important distinction to make, is there were 150 perpetrators of child victims.
And Texas had, is that what you were talking about, the number there versus Oklahoma's, the 150 cases, not 150 perpetrators? Or
they're comparing perpetrators, not cases.
Not
yes.
cases. Okay,
yes.
I see what you're saying. But the biggest question is why? Why does Oklahoma have 150 confirmed cases? This means more children were abused and or neglected in Oklahoma's foster care system than any other state in the country. What makes Oklahoma more vulnerable? What makes us the worst? I mean, why is this happening in our state?
We have a lot of issues in Oklahoma. We have very high rates of child abuse. We have very high rates of substance abuse and domestic violence. We are the worst state in the nation on the incarceration of women. And so when you look at all of these issues together, that compiles to make rates of child abuse very, very high. We also have the highest number of children in our foster care system in the country. We have over 9,600 children in foster care. For a state our size, we should have about 5,500 if we were to be around the national average. So Oklahoma faces a lot of societal issues that DHS is trying to deal with.
So we have almost double the amount of children in foster care that we should have based on the national average. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
And I know you have some new data for 2016 that you brought with us, because of course this is a problem that you guys are trying to tackle. You're aware of it.
Absolutely.
What does the new data from 2016 show?
Absolutely. Well, the new data is very encouraging. You know, this is something we have been focused on for several years. As you know, we've been making reforms in the foster care system, making sure that kids are safe and that they have a high quality of care while they're in DHS custody. So this is something we're very concerned about. We have been putting measures into place to keep kids safe, and we're looking particularly at foster homes. Why this is happening, what's going on in foster homes. And you know, we ask a lot of foster parents to take care of other people's children, children who have experienced trauma and abuse and neglect. That is not an easy job. So we're really drilling down to figure out what's happening in foster homes. The newest data is encouraging. It's showing that that abuse and neglect rate is coming down. We're really focusing on looking at every allegation that might come in regarding a foster home, even if it doesn't rise to the level of abuse and neglect. We're looking at it. We're looking to see what stresses are going on in that foster home, to see, do they need more support? Are there too many children in the home? Is there some sort of family stressor going on which is causing abuse and neglect allegations to happen?
It might help to maybe describe how you define abuse and neglect. That's got to be a pretty fine line.
It is, and actually abuse in Oklahoma is a very broad definition. It can be actual harm to a child or threat of harm to a child. So our definition of abuse is very, very broad. A lot of things qualify. Other states, their definitions are very different. That's the challenge when you start comparing state to state, is it's not all equal. The laws are very different. So that's why it can also be deceiving.
Okay, I'm going to have you maybe move. Yeah, it gets me too, my hair on my microphone. There you go. But would you say it's fair to say, since we have nearly twice as many kids in foster care than we should for the national average, are you having to, I hate to say lower the standard for foster families, but are you having to do that because the system is so overcrowded?
No, absolutely not. We would never lower our standard for the quality of care for children. Our foster families meet a very high standard. There's a lot of training that goes with that, background checks, home studies, lots of home visits. We ask a lot of our foster families.
So are these foster families getting more kids because we have double the amount of children?
Well, that's the interesting thing, is we've also recruited thousands of new foster families. So we're recruiting new foster families all the time, and we still need them, by the way. So if anyone's interested in joining us, we desperately need foster families. So we're recruiting more. We're trying to make sure they're not overloaded. But that's the interesting thing about abuse and neglect. Sometimes it happens in a home with just 1 or 2 children. It's not necessarily in homes that are just strictly overloaded. That's why it's difficult to spot a trend, but that's what we're trying to figure out is what's causing this.
Okay, and based on the new data that you have from 2016, you said it's encouraging and these numbers are slowly starting to go down. Are we still at the bottom of the barrel though? Are these federal data that you're looking at here? Do you have other states to compare us to? Are we still at the very bottom?
Well, that's what I said. The difficult thing in comparing state to state is every state laws are different, and actually states report a little differently. So it's difficult to compare, but we are looking at ourselves because one child is too many to have suffer abuse and neglect. Our standard is very high for ourselves, as it should be. And so we're looking at the numbers coming down, which is encouraging to us, but one will still be too many.
Sure. And as you and I have discussed, it's no secret that in a state with the highest incarcerated rate of women, mom not in the home, of course we're going to have too many kids in foster care. We had a lot of viewer questions about this. A lot of people chime in. This one comes from Mary, and she says, as I'm sure you agree, not all foster families are bad. However, there are too many that are just in it to see a paycheck. Is that one of the problems that you see? These people see these kids, not as lives, but as dollar signs?
No.
Is that one of the issues?
No, absolutely not. We have not uncovered a foster family that's in it for the money.
Okay.
For what we pay foster families and what we reimburse them for, because we reimburse them for the care of the cost of the caring for that child, there's not enough to be in this for the money. You have to really have a heart for kids and be in it for kids.
Okay, our next question comes from, I believe, Brenda. She says, is there a way to increase support for the family so not so many of those kids have to be taken into foster care?
Yes, and that is something we're focused on as well, keeping kids safe when they're in our care, but also trying to keep kids safe when they're with families and avoid removals from their homes. So there are ways that we can work with families, get them supports and services and help to correct the issues that have led to abuse or neglect.
Within the home, without
Within
having
the
to
home,
remove them. Okay.
That's right.
All right, the next one comes from Shannon. She says, I have neighbors living in a house with 5 kids with no running water or electricity, and DHS told me that was okay.
You know, there is a fine line also between the difference between extreme poverty and abuse and neglect. As you know, Oklahoma faces a lot of extreme poverty in many situations. Because a family is struggling to provide for their kids does not necessarily mean they are intending to abuse or neglect them. So that's what we have to look at when we go into the home. Now, if we go into a home and there's no running water or food, we're going to help that family get services so they can correct those situations and safely care for their children. It doesn't necessarily mean they are intending to hurt their children.
Okay.
So there's individual circumstances that need to be looked at.
Absolutely, and we're running out of time just for this segment, but if there is someone at home who says, you know, I have a neighbor or my child goes to school with a child that I'm concerned about, but I don't want to get involved in somebody else's business, should they contact DHS? At what point does it become your business? What would be your answer to somebody watching?
Child abuse is everyone's business, and Oklahoma law is very specific about that. Everyone is required to report abuse or neglect if they suspect it. That doesn't mean you have to prove it. It just means you suspect a child is in danger. So please call our hotline. It's on our website, and we will work out the details of whether or not that really is abuse or neglect.
Okay, we have a lot more viewer questions coming up. A hot topic right now, as we know, and you're working hard to get these numbers down, so we'll have you stick around for one more quick segment.